Hello again. It's early afternoon here, and I've just received a very exciting delivery in the post. I'm sorry I opened it without you, but I was so excited because I have a few items here which are going to help me finish off a project I'd started, and I did a video on that project. I think there might have been even two videos, I don't know. A desktop mat that I had started. I made a foray into patchwork quilting on a really small scale, and that ran into difficulties, but I am actually getting towards the end of it. So I have some things for that are going to help me finish it, and it's going to be nice. I'll show you in this video how it looks um, as it's coming towards the end stages. So I got this, which is a type of wadding that's actually bag wadding, not really quilty stuff, but I thought this looked good because it wasn't particularly fluffy and thick. And I'll show you now in a minute, but this desktop mat is going under a kind of a clear kitchen cutting board. So it doesn't need like really thick thickness of a quilt. And I like that it's not too fluffy for somebody who's a beginner at quilting techniques. So it might be easier for me to handle actually getting my patchwork stuff to stay, on the outside of the sandwich and have patchwork on the front and the back of this because I've never done that before. So I was a bit nervous about doing it. And with that in mind, I got this stuff as well, which is called interfacing, that you has glue on one side. I've used something like this for hemming jeans before, but I haven't used it on a whole kind of mat. So I got both things because I didn't trust myself to be able to hold the patchwork onto the wadding or batting or whatever you'd like to call it properly, without using the kind of a gluey stuff as well, because I just thought that might make it easier. So it might be overkill. I don't know. So I'm going to show you that. And then the other thing is like my latest obsession. I get little obsessions, and this is some supplies to help me indulge myself in my latest obsession. And what I have is, you won't guess from the materials. I have wire, and this set came with the nice pliers and all different sizes wires, and some, well, I don't know what I'm going to do with these. These are kind of extras, but some mulberry paper in there, which might not be a total necessity for this, but might help me out. Because where I'm learning this skill from is a YouTube channel, and I just came across it by chance. It's a French lady, and her channel is called Marve en papier. And if anybody French is in the comments or watching the video, I'm sorry if I mangled your language. I think it means marvels in paper. And she's a paper artist and kind of a sculptor and makes all these wonderful fantasy fairy figures from French fairy tales. And I love fairy tales. I've written like a little fairy tale book for kids about ants. But she loves 18th century French historical stuff like Marie Antoinette's court and figures from female writers of French fairy tales. And it was very much the thing to do in those court days, to sit around and tell each other beautiful fairy tales and amuse each other in the evenings like that. It was a sort of an aristocratic pursuit. But the lady with the channel, her pursuit is making little figures. And I love to make them. They're papier-mâché figures. I've had a go. This guy might be a month drying though, because he's made from toilet paper, stuck onto a pine cone that I got in a floral bouquet that I bought in a shop, using that as a base. But now you're kind of seeing where the wire comes in, because if I have wire, I can create base for a head if I want, or for a character. I have a feeling I might have to do one of this lady's courses because I don't know if I can get all the skills on my own. But I'm not plugging her channel, not like associated with her in any way. I just love her channel, and check it out. You might become obsessed with this as well. I'm making, hopefully, a little pussycat, and I'm going to do the thing that this French lady does in her channel and dress her up in an 18th century outfit, and she's going to have a little couch, and she's going to have a tea tray with all her tea things on it and some books to read. So it might be kind of a bit ambitious, a project, but you saw what I was like with the patchwork. I always take on things that are a bit ambitious. But I think the head has turned out nice so far, if it ever dries. She's kind of a middle-aged, aristocratic cat lady. Her ears are drying. And I have sheep's wool to add for more hairiness, because she's going to be a hairy white cat. And I'm going to paint her up in acrylics afterwards, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So stick around for that. Or a total mess and it won't hang together. We'll see. I'll learn things from doing it anyway. So do you want to have a look at the desktop mat and where it's at so far? Say yes. I might have to bring you over to the daybed because I'm painting at that table at the moment. So we'll go over to the daybed and we'll have a look at how things are going. Walk this way.
Okay, so it's a bit of an unholy mess over here. And I'm looking forward to being finished this project because there have been so many little scraps of things knocking about that it'll be nice to clean off the cover of this daybed. But this is basically where I'm at with the mat, and you can see I have the glass chopping board, a large chopping board on over it, and this is going to be lovely as a wipe clean desk mat. And the patchwork that I've been working on is kind of held down by that desk mat. So even though I made a lot of mistakes along the way, which I was talking about in the previous video, I figured that if I finished it anyway, there would be a lot of holding together of sort of lumpier bits where I wasn't very expert at the technique. Just by the pressure, the downward pressure of the top holding it. And the other thing is that now there's going to be a sandwichy layer of wadding in the middle, and then this on the back to thicken it as well. So the effect of it being flatter will be very helpful for finishing it. And even though, look at the lines are terrible in it and they wave all over the place, it's got a certain discreet charm and I like it. Let me get my packaging out of the way. This stuff all came with very helpful packaging. Sorry, I had to get a slug of coffee there. I had a frog in my throat. That's another thing I'm going to make actually with the papier-mâché stuff. I want to make a frog flying a kite on that woman's channel. She has gorgeous frogs and I'd love to do a frog. But this packaging material that they sent me with my supplies today, these wadding and batting supplies and interfacing, going to be, I think, usable for making the papier-mâché, for making the dresses and things like that. I think I might be able to make it out of that because any kind of craft paper that holds the shape when you scrunch it makes nice dresses and things. So everything, use everything, you see. So yeah, my next step then is to iron on the interfacing, which has glue on one side, to front and back, and cut the wadding, and then I can cut the thing to size. Now, I'm going to have to tweak because of my terrible quilting skills. I have extra little bits I'm making for along the edge because it's crooked I'm out too much on one edge and a bit too mean in the seam allowance, top and bottom. So I'm making a thinner patchwork strip. I didn't want to do a binding edging on this because I like it without a kind of framed look, you see. This side, I had no problems like that. This is the right size. So actually, I might put the interfacing on the back of that one first to get the size right, because I'll cut the interfacing to the correct size. Then I can cut the pieces correctly to get it together. I've confidence in this bit. I just didn't have confidence in my patchwork. But this is going to be the front. It's, you know, you can turn it over to view either side. I think this is going to be my favourite side, the one with all the suns, and the idea is the sun rising midday and setting, and then you've got a dark sky getting darker throughout the day, and you know, a bit of greenery in the bottom. They're pretty colours. So, two projects to work on, and all the materials arrived and everything. Very happy about that. So, we'll see how that goes, and I'll keep you posted. Bye.